Very good morning to everyone. As part of our Python learning journey, we are moving forward to learn the next thing in Python programming. So, which is nothing but Python statement. Very good morning to everyone. As part of our Python learning journey, we are moving towards our next step to learn Python statements. What are Python statements? The Python statements are nothing but any valid Python expressions or any valid programming line in Python is called as statements. Right. The Python statements share a common structure. Whenever you write a Python statement, so you have to follow certain structure, which is nothing but there should be a header line, and then your header line should be terminated by a colon. Then with the indent, you have to start your that is block statements. That means the statement that you want to include as a substatement to the header right now. So that is how it is. When you use expressions in the programming statement, for example, you are using a if statement. In other programming language, we used to put the expressions within the parenthesis. For example, if I within parenthesis, I greater than 10 or something like that, right? No, whenever we want to put an expressions for if, we put that within a parenthesis. Similar way, when you want to put the same for a while or for loop, we do the same. We used to put the expressions inside parenthesis for that statement. It is not required when it comes to Python. You can just write the expressions after the if or while or for without any parenthesis. Okay, no, that is the first difference that we have in Python from the traditional programming languages, right? End of line is used as a statement terminator in Python. When you want to terminate a line, programming line in C or C++, C#, we use a semicolon as sentence terminator. Only then, once we terminate a line, we using semicolon, and then only we can go for the next one. Right now, we use the front-end terminator to separate the programming line. In case of traditional programming language, in Python, your end of line, that is new line is acting as a sentence terminator right now. Again, when you want to put a statement blocks in other programming language, we used to put them inside a curly brace. Even that is not needed. So you may ask me a question, then how they are going to separate one block from then another one. So after the header line, with the indent, you will start writing your the statement, programming statement that you want to include within that block, right? The moment you end your indentation, which is the indication for to say that you are ending your block. So after a headline followed by a colon in a new line with the indent, you used to start your block statements. Each block statement will be terminated by a new line. When you want to end the block, you used to end the indent. Then your code is, that means you created a statement block, right? That is how the Python works, right? So this enforce the programmer to write a very more readable code. So in other languages, no, you can start the block at any place, but your block should be enclosed within a curly brace. But here it is not the case. You have to organize your code as per the by following the indent. Only then it is a valid code. Otherwise, it is to throw error right now. So that we have a more readability in Python programs than the traditional programs. Because here there is no curly braces to separate the block or to create a block, statement blocks. Indent is used as a that means indents used for statement blocking right now. That's why in that way also the Python differs from the traditional programming language. Here there is no requirement of parentheses, there is no requirement of curly braces. Right now there is no requirement of sentence terminator right now. So the statements appear one per line but possible to combine. That is, statement appear one per line. That means one programming statement you can put that in one line. When you want to include another one, you have to go to the next line right now. When you want to combine more than one programming statement in a single line, you have to separate them with the semicolon. Right now, here the semicolon used to come only when you want to combine more than one programming statement in a single line. Right, if you don't require it, the semicolon is not needed. Just put them in different line. That's all. The compound statement can appear in the same line of the header after a colon. Sometimes when you want to, when you have only one line of nested statement block, only one statement alone in your statement block, then you can put that after colon. Right now, after header line, you have a colon, right? After that, you can put it if it is a single line. If it is more than one line, then go for to the next line with the proper indent, then you can create your block statements. So these are the difference that we have in Python from the traditional programming language like C, C++, and C#. Right. So to try that, we have some problem statement here. So initially we want to see the branching statement. And what are the branching statements? There are many. We have if else, and then switch statement like that. These are branching statement or conditional statement based on a certain condition. You can position your program counter to different locations in the program memory. That means you can make a decision and can execute different piece of code. That is called, those are called as branching statement. Among them, if is the first one. So if the condition followed by a colon, in the next line, we have our, we used to have our nested block statement. Otherwise, the statement that we want to include within an if block. Here, when you look at this syntax, it is totally different from the C syntax. So in C, we start with if and then open a parenthesis. Within parenthesis, we used to put the condition. After ending the condition, we used to put in ending parenthesis. In a new line, we start a brace. Then we used to have our statements within the block. To end the block, we use another curly brace. That means one is a open, another one is a closing brace. Like that, only we used to have branching statement in other programming language. In Python, we follow the statement structure. The if followed by the condition, then a colon. This is header. So when you, in order to put the substatement, we used to come to the next line and have to make an indent. Right. If you don't make the indent, it will be considered as an error. So then only you can write that one. For that, we have a problem statement here. So the problem statement here is we have to compare the vehicle speed with the cruise speed. See, in ACC vehicle, we used to, there is a cruise speed, which is a set speed in which the vehicle used to run when ACC is activated. So internally, the ACC module used to compare the current vehicle speed with the cruise speed. So if the current vehicle speed is greater than cruise speed, we have to assign the cruise speed is equivalent to vehicle speed. That is the statement. This is a small piece in a bigger picture, right? Small one stone in a bigger fort. We are going to do complete ACU module development in Python later point of time. So for that, here we have some piece of that code to understand. We are going to use it to understand if statement, right? For that, we have to create a necessary Python program, change the ACC status signal based on the status of price switch signal using if statement. Like here, change the ACC status. So I believe I made a mistake here. I think this is not required because we have a. So we are going to try this piece of code in Python to understand if statement. Okay, now. So for that, I go to my working directory. Here I create a file using Notepad called branch. Statement.py. Yes. Right now. So in this program, I am going to do, so initially I am creating cruise speed equivalent to some 70 kilometer, which is the set speed, and then the vehicle speed. Vehicle speed is some 75, 95. So now I am going to use a if statement, if followed by the condition, if vehicle underscore speed, let us use the same terminology so that it would be more understanding. So to know that what we are having the slide that we are drawing as well. Right. When the speed greater than rise speed, if that is so, right? See, there is no parenthesis for each statement, then a terminator, the colon, and then in the next line we use price speed is equivalent to speed. That's all. So we are going to print this speed and cruise speed before and after the if statement. So I use a print before condition. The value of price speed is percentage D, and the value of vehicle speed is right. So they are going to be price, speed, comma, speed, right, before condition. So, and then we also print the same after we make the conditional thing. Right. So let us see that now. Python branch y. Before condition, the value of price, I think it's we make a typo error. It's not good. Price. Right now. So they are saying the value of price speed is 70 and the value of vehicle speed is 95. After condition, the value of price speed is 95 and the value of, because both will become same. Right now, that is how it should happen. So our if decision making statement works in this case. Right. So that is the learning. This is how the if statement or branching statement can be used in Python. You can even have a else, elif. If it is an else, if it is an else if, here you have to use elif, then in another condition, again a colon, then you can have uh, the nested statement for that block, if block. Like that you can go. Finally, you should have a else and then colon followed by the else statement that you want to have. So that is how the if works in Python. The next branching statement that we have here is the switch statement. Actually, the switch statement, there's no switch statement in Python, but we can achieve the same using a match case statement. Instead of switch, they have a word match here, right? It is the structure of the match case is somewhat similar to switch. So here we have to start the keyword switch followed by the expression, then a colon. After that, you should have the cases because that term is used as a switch. The term can have different cases. If it for each case, the case should start in the next line with the indent, and then the substatement of the case should start within and one more indent from there, right? So first initially we have the match term without indent, and then with indent we have case. Again, with indent from the case, we have our substatement like action 1, action 2, action 3, like that. So here there is no default keyword. Instead, they use an underscore for default case, right? Let us try this. So for that, change the state of ACC, change the ACC state signal state based on the state of query switch request signal using, actually it is not switch statement, it is match case statement. This feature is newly introduced in Python 3, not there in previous versions of Python. All right, so let us try this. So for that, we need a query switch request and ACC status. I say price switch request is equivalent to some 2, and then ECC status equal to 0. Match term is like match price switch request, then a colon with the indent case 0 means ACC status is equal to 0. Case 1, ACC status is equal to 2. Case 2, ACC status is equal to 3. Case status is equal to like 4 or 5, something like that. That means fault. Right, that's all. So it is similar to switch, but here the keyword is match followed by the expression, actually switch variable, otherwise switch variable. Then each case should start with one indent from the switch, right? After that, when you want to have the case statements, there are statements to include in a particular case, you should do that with one indent. So like that, it should go, right? If I don't have indent here, or I don't have indent here, that will become a problem. So you have to follow the proper statement structure. Only then your code will work, right? Then what I am going to do now, because that's all for switch statement. So we can do actually before and after switch. Before switching, the value of switch request is, and the value of ACC status. This is, we have to put right. Good. Price request. Come on. Right. So for that, after they are doing the switching, after switching, we are printing the values, right? So this is to tests to behavior to learn match case statement, right? So let me see that. We'll come back here. Right now there is an error. unterminated. Mm, sorry, here we need to have a brace, sorry, quotes right now. See, before switching, the query switch request is 2 and the value of it is 2. After switching, when the query switch is to 2, the value of easy status should change to 3. So that happens without any problem. So our match case is working. So these are the two major statements that we have in, so two major branching statements that we have in Python, right? After that, after this switch statement, we have while statement, right? How to write while statement in Python? You should have a while keyword followed by your condition, and your condition should be terminated by a colon. In the next line with the indent, you have to start your, you have to write your while statement within the block. That needs to be within the block, right? Those you have to write. So again, if you see the structure of the while, it is completely different from the traditional programming language, and it follows and it is in line with the statement structure that I explained in the very beginning. So the header title followed by a colon, then in the next line with the indent, you should have your programming statement, right now. So here we have a problem statement. So the problem statement says create, right, create a 10 different vehicle speed samples for ACC project. Maybe this is the project that they are going to do using while loop, and feed them to the vehicle speed signal at the rate of 1 samples per second. I think this is not possible as of now because we don't have any message transmission. The simulation is not yet ready. Anyhow, we are going to do that in Python. As of now, I just strike out this one. So, and print them. Right. Create an arrays of or list of 10 different vehicle speed sample for ACC project using while loop and print them. That is the statement. That is the problem statement that we have to do. So let me do that. First thing that I have to do is, because I'm going to create a list of 10, I can create a list here. So I can say vehicle speed samples is equivalent to an empty list. I'm doing it. And then I have a variable called index. I initialize that with 0. Then while, that means while I index in range 0 to 10, then a colon, I how to create right now. Random vehicle speed means I should import random, right? And then create sample is equivalent to I think vehicle speed samples dot append, because it is a list I am appending, I'm adding. So random dot rand int in between the range. I think they are this bounds 10 different vehicles with sample, right? I create them from 0 to 250 and I append it to vehicle speed sample. Right, after that, index plus equivalent to 1. I increment the index. So at the end, I am going to print them. Print the samples or print vehicle speed samples. Right, that's all. So I think this termination is not required. So we have done with right now. Let us check whether that is working. Okay, so we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are getting 10 different samples. Let me check whether we are getting a different sample in a different time. Yes, we are getting it. Right. So this is how we use while statement in Python, right? We used it for an automotive purpose. That means for an automotive application, right? So then there is a for. I think for we don't have slide here. Let me include the slide. Again, for is also following in the same way, in same structure, like for condition, then colon, followed by our statements. Right, that's how it is. So let me try. I think we are going to do the same here, but we are, what do you say, recreate the program using for. That's all. The same application. Maybe I can say here. For loop and print them. Right, that is we are going to do. So the code will be more or less same, which used to have most of the things that we have here. Just copy it and paste it. All these things are so, but when it comes to for index in range 0 to 10, right, here you can say index, right. Right now. So the below one is using for loop and the first one is using while loop. Right. That's how we have to use a for loop here. There is no do while loop in Python. Right now, there is no do while loop in Python. So the next statement that we are going to see is an unconditional branching statements. There are two, break and continue. So these break and continue keywords are somewhat same as that of C and C++ and other traditional programming language. But the structure in which they are used may be slightly different. Right now, that's all about break and continue. To understand these two keywords, we have a problem statement here. Create an array of 10 different vehicle speed. Those are greater than 50 km per hour and less than 250 km per hour. And ignore the seed sample values in between 100 to 120 and stop generation if generated sample is greater than 200. So these are the um, this is a problem statement. Here we are going to use both break and continue everything to understand. We are going to understand break and continue statement using this example. The first thing is created 10 different vehicle speed. Okay, those are greater than 50 and less than 250 kilometer. So here we have a upper and lower range for random samples. So it should be, the value should be generated which is in between these two values. Okay, brilliant. And then ignore the seed sample values in between 100 and 120. If the generated sample value is 100 or 120, we have to ignore that and have to regenerate it again. Understand? And if the generated sample is greater than 200, we have to stop that immediately. Stop the generation immediately. Let us achieve this using Python. Program to learn unconditional branch. Right. So here it is. Import. I think we already have imported the random here, so we no need to import that again. So let me initialize my vehicle speed sample list back to empty that I have done. After that, I am going to generate the values in between two limit, right? For that, I'm going to use a for again for index in range 0 to 10, right? Colon. We have to generate the sample first. Random dot rand int. Here we have a specification. It is 52 to 50, if I'm not wrong. Right now, 52 to 50 in between. Okay, so we generate a sample. If the generator, sorry, if sample is greater than 100 and sample is less than 120. All right, if this one is satisfied, then continue. That means you go and regenerate the sample again. If it's not so, you check for elif sample equal to 200. I think greater than 200 if I'm not wrong. Right. If it is greater than 200, just break the generation. Come out from the loop. If not, if it is not the case, you assign vehicle speed samples of index is equal to sample and index plus equal to 1. So you do all these things. So it will go and generate them. Then finally you print those samples. Right. That makes sense, no? Let us save that. Interesting. There is a mistake that we made in the okay, I think we have to deal that in a different way. What is the error that they are saying? List is out of it because we have to add append because that one is empty. Append. Right. Right. We got only 3 sample. After the third, when they are generating third sample, they got 200. That's why the generation is stopped and they come out. Right. So again, we don't have any sample which is in between 100 to 120. So let me generate that again. This time only 2 samples. This time's first sample itself greater than 200. Only one sample. One sample. No sample. No samples. 4 samples. 1 samples. So it depends on the sample generated, and when they are checking the condition, they do it. So continue is regenerating the sample again, right? The break is break the loop and come out, right? So that's all about the statements in Pythons. These are the some of the important statements that we encounter while we are doing Python programming. Okay, team, I stop today's session with this. Let me catch you with more detail in upcoming session. Thank you. Thank you for watching.